Miss Hurricane said, "Oh, I'm about to fall out." No, not you. Girl, you put me down and now you're back. Thank you for joining. And this is the perfect one because I'm going to just do like some lessons learned from this whole experience, Miss Girl. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one because and I really want to get some good feedback from you guys because yeah. And Miss Hurricane, you've been online dating. I'm glad you're here because we can sort of get your thoughts on this as well. It's been a kind of a trip, like especially for someone who has not done this in 5, 6 years. Good. Now, is everyone, getting vaccinated or whatever? I mean, I'm not, it's up to you, but I'm just curious. I am, but I'm just curious how many people are, and because some people aren't. Nicki Minaj is tripping. She's saying no. Yeah, I think it's a lot of the unvaccinated who are really, oh, it's oh, okay, G Flow, you're so pretty. Well, good. We'll compare notes because it's only been it hasn't even yeah, I got the vaccine as well. It'll be a month tomorrow. And it's been interesting because I've gotten not to brag, say my experience, so many likes and so many just a lot. It's been a lot. But it's been minimal results for it's been a whole lot of nothing. But I'll get into it. I'll get into it. Oh, I forgot to add one more thing to my slide. Okay, let me add one more while I'm thinking. My last thoughts. Let me do this right quick. Mhm. There we go. Yeah, my last. Just okay. I'll wait a few more minutes. Slide. Yeah, I was supposed to go on a cruise in December, y'all. I just went ahead and canceled it because and it sucks. But it's like, I don't know if you got any sort of vacation. You want to go, you want to have Miss Hurricane. Well, we're going to get into your Tulum. And now you're in Mexico or someplace right now. Bottom line is, you guys, you can't really enjoy a cruise with all these restrictions. You just can't. You know, that's the whole point of it. If you have to wear a mask all the time and you restrict, I mean, it's like, what's the point of spending your money for a compromised experience? Hi, exquisite coils. I mean, so I just went ahead and canceled my cruise. It's like, why pay, when you are not going to have the same experience? And now, just today, they announced that kids 12 and over, they can't go unless they're vaccinated. Hey, everyone. For my birthday. Oh, happy birthday! Because I thought you were, because honey, I've been stalking your Instagram. I thought you were in Playa de something, Playa de Carmen or something like that. Yeah, yeah, because I was just on your Instagram. Hi, Kate. Oh, look at that. I'm so happy you guys are joining us. Hey, Kate. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm going to wait a little bit. Just about 3 more minutes before we get started. because I have a slideshow. If you guys can hear me when I mentioned of some lessons learned, my experience. I would love to like hear the experiences of some of you. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, that's what I saw. It was like I thought it was Playa del Carmen. I thought so because I'm like I saw that. I'm like I stay on your Instagram. I know it was something like that because I thought so. No, she's been catching the replays. At least not yet. Hopefully she'll be 20. Where's Taylor? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you good. Good. How did you enjoy yourself? How were the restrictions and everything? Were you able to enjoy yourself? Were you at an all-inclusive, Miss Hurricane? That's good. That's good. That's great, you guys. I'm gonna wait 1 minute and then we're gonna get started because I'm not only I'm gonna go ahead and communicate my experience and then you know we can go through whatever you guys want to go through, but I want to actually get some feedback from you. Okay, because we're yeah, because I've got some lessons learned, you guys, and I want to go ahead and just let you know, compare what I think versus what you guys think. So, you guys, let's get started. Let's get started 6:15. I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, mostly I have to wear a mask indoors, which makes sense. I mean, that's a safe thing to do. But it is better if you are vaccinated. So, you guys, let's get into this slideshow. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. All right, y'all. So we're going to get into this slideshow. And like I said, start from the beginning. Come on. Okay. So you guys, these are just my experience, my takeaways, and sort of a lesson learned and observations from this experience. And you know, just FYI, you guys, when I signed up, I joined for like 90 days. So it's only been 30. So I've got like a couple more months left and I'll update you guys from time to time. But I just want to do it for 30 days, just give you like my initial impression. So let's get into it. I mean, I've just discovered throughout this process that you have to invest time in this. Lots of profiles to review, a lot of people contacting you know, contacting other people, likes and all that crap. And another thing that I just kind of forgot about you guys is how you're always starting over. Somebody reaches out to you, you reach out to them, hi, how are you, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's always a process of starting over with each person. So keep that in mind. You have to be patient and accept you're going to be starting over with each and every person. How are you? Blah blah blah. You know, all of that. And as I said previously, I've got lots of matches, lots of likes, but so far very few men of interest to me. You know, like I said, it's a numbers game, and I am obviously particular, and I am very sensitive to the pandemic. So I've got about 3 on my roster, although you guys, I have not met anyone in person yet. I'm reserving that for people who put in that work and, you know, we talk on the phone. And I've got 3 who are, so far, you know, I've engaged with like that. So I will keep you posted on that. Now, the next thing you guys I really wanted to get into, the desire to use Black women for sex is real. Now, you guys, I don't know if you guys, hopefully you guys saw that video on like sort of red flags when interracial dating. I interracial date exclusively, but I wanted to make a video. Here's one of them right now calling me. One of them in my roster. He called me right now. Let me put him on decline. Anyway, I hope you guys saw that video. I think I have it linked in this one also, but if you did, please check it out, because I wanted to show you guys an example of that, and it makes me sad. Now, it's one thing to say it, to hear me say it, it's another thing to see it. So let's go through the messages between me and this guy. Okay, he asked me, and there was a lot of precursor to this, but this is like when we get down to the nitty gritty. Okay, may I ask why you prefer interracial dating, B? Me, it's always been my preference, that's it. I asked him, have you ever dated a Black woman? He says, yes, I have. And then I'm like, okay, have you ever had a relationship with a Black woman? If so, for how long? Just curious now that you've mentioned it, okay? He opened this door, we're gonna walk right through it. Okay, next slide. This is his reply. 2 years, but much baggage. Intimacy great, but came with a price. Now, that's what got me effed up, right there. Intimacy great, but came with a price. So yeah, you were having, okay, I don't want you, let me continue, because this really made me mad. So I got back to him and I started asking these leading questions, because I knew right there, this was my example. So I said, so you put up with 2 years of crazy baggage for great intimacy? He said, I didn't have to deal with the baggage. So that means she had probably baby daddies, whatever, all that going on, but she invested in him sexually and all that. He had no real investment in her. He didn't have to deal with the baggage. He was just there for the intimacy, okay? Let's keep going. And then I, again, continue to press. Well, you said the intimacy came with the price, so he said she was always asking for financial help and asking for me to buy her things. Sometimes I did, but rarely when she asked. Wow. And I said to him, bet she didn't have to ask you to be intimate with her, and you never turned that down, LOL. So what are you saying? Okay, I said, so what are you saying is that, okay, so what you're saying is that this was not a romantic relationship with someone you love. And his was like, LOL, probably not. Great laugh, thanks, Steve. Y'all, and I knew it. I knew this was the example. And this is why Black women, it's so important to have standards. And I feel bad for this woman. This woman was clearly probably, she's asking him for money. She's like doing whatever with him sexually. And he had absolutely no investment in her whatsoever. Oh, hey, Tubby. All right. All right, you guys, so I'm going to go on and continue with my lessons learned. Just want to check the chat and just see what was up. Hey, Tubby, what's going on? All right, so back to it. Oh, I hate when it does this. Okay. And Tubby, you can always go back and review this. Okay, so this is the guy who basically, this is your example of a guy, white man, just using Black women for sex. That's it. He had no investment in her emotionally or anything. Treating her like she's kept. She was always asking for financial help and asking me to buy her things. Sometimes I did, but rarely when she asked. I mean, really? Oh, this made me mad. And then that's why I said that she didn't have to ask you to be intimate with her, and you never turned that down. This dude had me messed up, you guys. So we're gonna go on. We can discuss this later. On to the next. All right, so continuing with my lessons learned. Oops. Oh, okay. Be open to dating men who have never been married. Now, typically it's like, oh, if he's 50, 60, whatever, 55 years old, never been married, there's something wrong with him. But you go on these online dating sites, and a lot of these guys are divorced, and those are the ones that are tripped. Those are the ones you have to watch out for. Those are the ones that are like this guy who came at me like that, talking about that black woman. This is somebody who's divorced. So because somebody has been in a relationship does not mean that they should be more desirable, that they are going to be in a that they have the tools to be in a good relationship with you. And it doesn't mean that a man who has never been married, he does not. I mean, I thought about this, you guys, and this is why. Number one, he did not conform to societal standards or parental standards. Now, if you date interracially, you know that oftentimes the first wife is even though a man may prefer a woman of a different race, he does what is expected of him from a societal or parental standard. Then he gets divorced and he decides to go for what he really wants. This person, if he's never been married, he did not conform to those standards. Number two, he is more likely to have dated a variety of women because he's been single. He didn't have the pressure of having to live up to anybody's standards. He's probably dated interracially. He's probably dated a variety of women. And lastly, he has no divorce trauma or drama like a lot of these men who have been divorced do. So you guys, we have to flip our mind. I thought about this and I'm like, no, we should not close our mind or just write off this whole group of men because they've never been married. That is an asset, really, if you really think about it. If you think about the positive versus what's going on with these divorced guys, who a lot of them want to play the field, a lot of them have, they're mad at their wives or whatever. This is a good option. So do not write them off, you guys. A man who has never been married, do not write him off. He is not automatically an undesirable. Okay, and another thing I've noticed, you guys, next lesson. Most of these dudes don't read profiles. A lot of it is I like your pics. I want to meet for coffee or drinks. So for me, I am not a person who meets for coffee or drinks. You do not get the pleasure of my company I don't do all this for coffee or drinks. So anyone who came at me that way, on to the next. I don't do that. It's not worth it to me. It's not worth my time. It's not worth my effort. It's not worth going out in a pandemic to meet some random stranger for a cup of coffee. I got coffee right over there. I got coffee at home. So yeah, it's not worth my time. Now, I'm not saying some women like that, they're okay with, I want to see, what's up, just a cup of coffee. I don't want that time investment and whatever. And if that's you, that's fine. But for me, I have never and will never, ever, ever meet a man for coffee. Me, I call it the coffee house inspection, especially when they have made no effort to get to know you. That's the thing. I want to meet for coffee, basically see if you look like your pictures. That's the only reason, ultimately. And no, I am 100% a person who requires any and every man to have a phone conversation with me, at least one. That is a non-negotiable. And if a man is not willing to speak to you, have a conversation with you, that's a red flag. If he's not willing to invest a conversation with you, Me, it's like, to me, I will not accept that. So just beware of the man who's not even willing to invest a conversation with you. What is he looking for if he can't be bothered to speak to you? For me, you can't bother to speak, I can't be bothered to me. So next one. I mean, y'all, this goes without saying, but there are some crazy mama bins out there, okay? This is my next example. Okay, so, and I just cut to the chase part, okay, from this guy. This guy reached out to me, okay, because I asked him if he read my profile. I asked him if he read my profile, okay. So he said, not initially. I saw your picture, of course, and clicked like. You have a beautiful smile. If there is no initial electricity, there is little chance for a great relationship. I hate the word chemistry with every fiber of my being. It is overused, just like narcissist. It is like misused and all of that, because chemistry, you guys, just so you in my opinion, chemistry can be created. To me, it's that attraction, okay, but in order to have a relationship with my husband that was deceased, we didn't just have chemistry, we had a connection. And that's something much deeper. Chemistry is superficial. So, I mean, that I don't like that word. If you're just looking for chemistry, that's, to me, that's a problem. You should be looking for someone with whom you have a true connection. So let me continue. Okay. This is when we learn about each other. Okay. I have now read your profile thoroughly. I see a few challenges ahead. In the spirit of honesty, I smoke cigarettes and marijuana on a daily basis. I see that those two things are no-nos on your profile. Now, you see what it says. I see those two things are no-nos on your profile. That is the key to the rest of what's coming, right? I wouldn't want to waste your time if those are deal breakers for you. What do you think? Now, he read my profile, and my profile clearly said, I don't want to date a smoker. Okay, so you're asking me basically what you already know. Okay, so let's move forward. Let's move forward. Okay, this is my response to him. The marijuana I could live with if it were recreational rather than daily, but the cigarettes are a deal breaker, period. Point blank, period, right? That's what I said. The funny thing is, I never smoked a cigarette in my life until I met my now deceased husband. He smoked, so I picked it up little by little. But I quit cold turkey years ago, and that's true. I never smoked, and he smoked, we get puff here, but I was able to quit though because I was not a heavy smoker. But that's one of the reasons. First of all, the smell and all that, but you know, I enjoy a puff every now and then, so I don't want to get back into that habit. As I said right here, and to be honest, I have smokers in my family, and so I still enjoy a puff every now and again. We'll be kicking. I'm like, well, let me have a cigarette, have a puff, and that's it. But beyond the obvious health concerns, I honestly could not imagine kissing a smoker. No offense intended. But rather than asking me if I will accept it, would you ever consider wedding? Now, I'm going to stay here at this slide so you guys can read this. Clearly said they are a deal breaker. And I made that perfectly clear, right? Okay, let's move on to his crazy ass reply. And you guys, some people just like this just tripped me out. This is his reply. To be honest, I don't think I want to quit. Okay. I know you see all the negatives, but lots of people smoke. Okay. There must be something positive about it. I don't want to give up those positives. It shouldn't be an either or. That's why it's a deal breaker. I get it. So I'll opt out. Now, this is the most there must be something positive about it. I don't want to give up those positives. Okay, so why are you reaching out to me if you read my profile and you said smoking and you knew smoking is a no-no and it's a deal breaker and I just told you it was a deal breaker? Okay, so this is my final response. I said, well, I should have said that what should be is for each individual to decide. You asked if it was a deal breaker, and it is. You also made it an either or, so your defensive and aggressive reply is rather ridiculous. And there was no need for you to opt out because clearly I already had. It's like, dude, you asked me. You asked me, you already knew before you asked me. You say you don't waste my time, but you just did. And then you're mad? You don't want to give out, it shouldn't be an either or, but yeah. I mean, you guys, it's stuff to me, this guy is crazy. I have never read there must be something positive about it. Now, I know people enjoy smoking meat. I mean, look, if we're not for the health benefits, I probably smoke a little more. I'm not gonna lie. But the negatives far outweigh the positives. And everybody knows that, whether you smoke or not. So if you don't want to quit and you know smoking is a deal breaker for me, why are you asking me about it? And then getting an attitude. Oh, crazy. All right, so let's go back to more lessons learned. And you guys, I'm going to go through this and then we can go back. If you want to go back through the slides and ask about certain ones, that's fine. I just want to get through this. Okay. Okay, so let's go on to the next. Okay, so more lessons learned. Protect yourself, respect the pandemic. You guys, I read just yesterday that 1 in 500 Americans have died from this disease. This, from what? 1 in 500 Americans have died. That's how many people have died. Be careful, y'all, about going out and meeting these random strangers who want to meet for coffee or a drink. To me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You're not willing to put in some work and put in some effort. And I get a lot of that, you guys, and I turn it down, or I come back to them and say, look, I don't know you, we've never spoken, whatever, let's talk. And either they do or they don't. But that is a non-negotiable, guys. Just be careful. Not going out there and meeting a bunch of random strangers, mask or no mask. The more you do it, the more you are exposing yourself. And what I found, you guys, is that so many people on here, these dudes don't respect it. They don't respect it. It's like, it's crazy. So just be aware. I mean, I don't know what your stance is on all of this, but I'm just saying it's out there whether you believe it or not. Okay, another thing I realized, you guys, is chat is where it's at. Back when I was doing this, people would get online, you would exchange messages. It was like more email. This is how long it's been. It was more email. It wasn't this IM stuff like it is now. Now it's like IM, so you don't need text. It would go from email to text messages to conversing via text messages and all of that. Now it's chat, the IM, and then they want to go from that. I had a guy who we've been chatting, and then I should have, but I blocked him or something, or I closed the thing. We had been chatting, nice guy, and he's asked me, may I have the pleasure of your company for dinner? And I'm like, well, can we talk first? I'm like, I'd like to speak to you first. And then this guy has been sweating me. Then I asked him, can we talk? I'd like to speak to you first. Boom, he said, sure, boom. That was it. And I'm like, okay, you're sweating me to death. I asked you can we at least have a phone conversation? And that's a deal breaker for you? You think I'm gonna go out, get dressed, and meet a stranger for dinner somewhere without having even spoken to him? Shouldn't we have to speak, when we make the dinner plans? It's just people are tripped like that. They want to do the IM, and somehow in people's mind that has become talking. That has somehow become conversation. It is not conversation to me. It is not real. I want to hear your voice. I want to see what kind of person you are. I want to see if we click. And you cannot get to know anyone, in my opinion, over chat. But that's the thing for people on there. So just be aware of that. That's the thing. Very important, as I have said on this channel many times, do not ignore red flag. Okay, next example of that. All right, now this was just like yesterday, okay? Here we go. It was this guy named Matt. We exchanged like numbers. You guys, and I give him my fake number. I'm with T-Mobile. I have my regular phone number, but T-Mobile gives you like an alternate number to use if you don't want to give your real number. So if you don't have something like that, you might want to get a burner phone or whatever. But I'm just saying. Okay, this guy's name was Matt. Okay, and let me set the stage. We had exchanged a couple of messages. He had left me his number. It's been a couple days. I'm like, okay, let me text him and let him know, like let's arrange a time to talk. But during that time, as soon as I texted him, he called me, like right away, he called me. And this is where this picks up. I said, hi, Matt. I'm in the middle of something, so I can't really talk right now. But I am a bit confused because the caller ID shows that this phone number belongs to someone named Virginia Rice. When he called me, I saw, the name, the caller ID Virginia Rice. So I didn't think anything of it. I don't answer, calls from people I don't know, go to voicemail, leave a message or whatever. I didn't even realize it was him until I went back and I checked my voicemail and it was his voice. I'm like, this is Matt. Why is it saying, Virginia Rice? So I asked him that, and this was his reply. LOL, been divorced 10 years. Ex-wife set account up, and for some reason, even though I changed carriers, her name shows up. Hope that clears things up. Now, y'all, let's think about that. His ex-wife of 10 years now, they've been divorced for a decade. She set up his account. And for some reason, even though he changed carriers, her name still shows up. Now, I'm with T-Mobile, right? And I have my account with T-Mobile, which I set up. If I go to Verizon, I'm not going to have the same account number. It's not one account number that transfer to another another carrier. You have an account number with T-Mobile, you end your agreement, your service with T-Mobile, you go to Verizon, you'll get a Verizon account number, right? So this is a lie, and it's a bad lie. And so here is my response. I mean, you're gonna say something like this, hope that clears it up. No, baby, it doesn't. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so here's my reply. Thanks, Matt, but that doesn't clear things of having, speak. Thanks, Matt, but that doesn't clear things of having been divorced for a decade. And in any event, thanks for your interest, but I don't feel comfortable proceeding. Okay, next one. Although I did proceed a little bit, you guys, because I wanted to I'm like, damn, this is a good example for this. Let me at least get a little bit more. Okay, this was his reply. Rather surprised. And that right there kind of got me. I'm like, dude, you don't know me. You mean surprised? Like, you don't know me. You don't know how I'm going to react to anything. I mean, so who are you to anticipate or have some kind of expectation of my reaction? Okay, so he said, I'm rather surprised. And this was my response. You shouldn't be. Phone numbers and carrier services are easily changed. There is no logical reason why your phone number should be in your ex-wife's name after being divorced for 10 years. At least none that I would be comfortable with, Matt. It is in my best interest to block this number, which I'm going to do right now, so there will be no further communication from me. All the best. Now, I was going to block right then and there, but he sent me this message. Okay, this is the last one. He said, "Because you honestly think that if I had anything to do with my ex-wife, I would be on a dating on a dating site." Again, this dude said, "I don't know you. I don't know what you do. I don't know you." I mean, it's just wow, really? I don't know, but she could be sitting right next to you. I don't know. He said, What if like what if like the opportunity to get to know you, but respect your decision because you know I'm not crazy and you know exactly what you're doing." Now, my final reply to him: this isn't about you or your ex. It's about me and my comfort level. An ex-wife is in the mix from literally the first phone call. My instincts tell me to pass, and that's what I'm going to do. No hard feelings. Bye. So, you guys, again, I'm going to move on, but we can come back to these and we can touch base about these after I get through. It's only a couple more slides. Okay, and this is the last one, I believe. This is the last slide. My lessons learned. Age is just a number. I am 56 years old, baby, and I got more emails and messages and likes than I can handle. And that's part of this is not bragging, it's just what it is. So age is not a number, you guys. Just have good pictures, a nice profile, and be open to dating different people. But men are visual. You got to have cute pictures. That honey, they don't even look at your profile. As long as you have cute pictures, someone's going to approach you. Okay, but don't be, oh, I'm too old, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm 47. Honey, if I can do it, I'm 56. If I can do it, you can do it. My age has not been any sort of hindrance to me. So I'm just saying, do not write yourself off because of age. Okay, and last but not least, have fun. You guys, it's not that deep. Just have fun. Be open-minded. And when I say open-minded, just like I said about the men who have never been married, be open-minded. Do not write them off. Keep your expectations low because it is online dating. You saw your crazies, you got your liars, you got your cheaters. It is what it is. But there are some good, men out there, obviously. There are some good men out there. So don't believe that, oh, it's all, they're all jerks or I don't believe that at all. There are some good men out there. And so, oh boy, that just called me. We'll see. We'll see what's up with him. And this just got money too. You know how I do. And last but not least, do not get caught up. Do not get caught up when you see those red flags. Boom, that's it. Because with the guy who texted me that bull about his ex-wife and the phone number, there are women who would look at that and say, you know what, that's no big deal, or at least not at this point. I don't even know this guy. He's cute. I want to meet him. I'm not worried about it right now. If it becomes a problem in the future, then I'll worry about it then. But that's not a reason for me not to meet this guy. And you know what? You can take that approach. Some women will take that approach. But if you are a woman who is willing to justify and sort of talk yourself into that, you are the type of woman who is most likely to get caught up, and you are the woman who is most likely to have been the pygmisha, who have had these horrible relationships, who are watching channels like mine and others to change habits. And this is probably one of the habits that you want to change: ignoring red flags. So you have to catch yourself, you guys. Do not get caught up with the men who only want to use you for sex, or the liars. When you see something that is a true red flag, do not ignore it. On to the next. So you guys, that's it. That's my little slideshow. I'm going to let me go back. Let me go back. All right, y'all. All right, guys. So let me go back. Oh, all right, y'all. So I am back. I am back. Miss you, lady. Yeah, chemistry is the buzzword, but I don't like that. Back to chemistry. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. Let's get a Google Watch number. Oh, okay. Yeah, my second number with T-Mobile is free as well. I love T-Mobile. They're excellent. So you guys, thoughts. What are your thoughts on this? Is there anything you want to revisit or what? I mean, give me some examples. Give me some thoughts because you guys are out there in these online streets. What are your thoughts? I mean, the one with the man who was basically used that black woman, or she allowed herself to be used basically like a hooker for whatever scraps. And you can tell that he didn't have any respect for her. That's the thing that pissed me off. You could tell that he had no respect for her. And it's just it just made me mad. I gave her to her, but not when she asked for it. It was just how much disregard he treated her with. And these are the things you have to watch out for, you guys. These are the things that we have to watch out for. Let me stop. What kind of you guys, let's talk about, I mean, what do you think of these experiences, of the examples of like the crazy dude with the smoking, like I know some of you have had some experiences too. Yeah, but I mean, definitely. You see, I don't date black men, so I mean, you're 100% true. But I'm just saying, this is specific, though. I'm talking about in this instance. There is a lot of, this is a person who's dated white men her whole life. And to me, this is someone who, the subject was, have I ever, why do I date interracially? And I just said, that's always been my preference. And I asked him. And and I asked him, of course, since he brought it up, he said he dated someone for 2 years. And it turns out, and I asked him if it was a relationship. I mean, I just thought he was very dismissive. And there is something to be said about the white man who only wants to use black women for sex, and I did a whole video about that. And of course, it's not every white man, of course, because I date, online. I date white men exclusively. Well, I date Asians and Hispanic too, but I do not date black men straight up. So that's not a black white thing. So I'm just saying it is real and it exists. And I'm just getting, like I said, I did the video of some of the drawbacks. And this is a person who has, like I said, dated interracially exclusively her whole life. My husband that was deceased was a white man. So white men do it to white men. Yeah. You said, oh, absolutely. White men do it to white women too. Absolutely. But it was just the way he was, just a specific, the intimacy was great. I mean, I think that if this was a relationship with a white woman, I don't think he would have mentioned that. That's what that took exception to. That I don't think if he was referring to a white woman, he would have mentioned that. And I date white men. Look, I've always been treated like a queen, which is why that is my preference, have always been my preference. Now don't get it twisted, G Flow. I am not the advocate for the black men. I don't date black men. And because a lot of them are too trifling, it's just never been my thing. But I'm just saying when your date that is, and obviously it's not every white man, but that element is out there. And yes, men just use women in general for sex. So that's something you just have to be aware of, just in general. The crazy dude with the smoking is a giant and it's disrespectful. Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's just, it's crazy. Like you read my profile. You said smoking is a no-no. I said smoking, and you said that. And now you're mad because I'm confirming what you said. The sex fetish divorce guy is easy. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying, you guys. The divorce guys do not be like, oh, he's divorced. Somehow that makes him a better, a potentially better partner because he's been married before. No. And I really thought about that. You know, how we write off, oh, if he's 40, 50, whatever, he's never been married, there must be something wrong with him. Baby, there's something wrong with a lot of these divorce guys. You know what I mean? You know, so I'm not gonna write them off. You shouldn't write them off. So yeah, do not write them off. You're just, closing another option. No, that's just another option. If they're respectful to you, you have no reason to just eliminate them by virtue of the fact that they've never been married. I don't like the way he described it. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I thought it was very disrespectful, and how I asked if he. No, he was just. She was just basically a sex toy, and how he was saying how well she was always asking me for financial help, and like I didn't give it to her. Yeah, it was very just disrespectful. Like she was just a POF. Like she was nothing. But of course, you're banging her for 2 years. She didn't have to ask you for that, right? She didn't have to ask you for that. You didn't ever turn that down. It's appalling to me. And then you have the nerve want to holler at me, please, please. And you guys, right after I took these screenshots for you guys, I blocked his ass. I unmatched him. You guys, what do you think about the guy on the text messages? The one who says the ex-wife and the account in her name. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you are straight up the better part of my 20s dating divorce, right, guys? How was it? Dating your 10-year friend won't deter them from trying to get. Oh, absolutely. So that's why it's up to you to stand by your standards and your requirements. That's on us, not to compromise our standards. Because I'm very clear. I know what I want. I'm very clear about it. And so I'll ask them, like, did you read my profile? They'll go back and they'll read it. And then, some of them do. I'm not going to say some of them do, they don't. Because they go back and say, okay, I know you're my chivalry is dead, blah, blah, blah. I want a man. I put in there, provider, protector, traditional man. Yes, that's all in there. So I'm like, go back and read it, the summary to see if you qualify. And a lot of them, they don't care. They'll just, oh, she's pretty or whatever. They want to meet you. But it's like I said to one of them, you guys have to keep in mind the fact that they think you're pretty may be enough reason for them to want to meet you. But the fact that they think you're pretty is not a reason for you to want to meet them. So you're going to have to put in some effort and give me a reason to want to meet you. Oh yeah, you have to. You have to. And you have to have these. And I've got, I'm flirty and sexy and feminine and all that with some of these guys. But when I see red flags, like the guy who was clearly disrespectful of that black woman, as soon as he said the intimacy was great, I'm like, I knew what he was. I knew it. Because honestly, that was the first time, and I'm approached you guys exclusively pretty much by white men. Anyone had made it a point to say that. And you're saying that to a black woman about another black woman. I knew like who he was. I knew it. And he confirmed it. And the guy with the phone and the ex-wife, come on now. You know that made absolutely no sense. And you know what? It's her name that popped up. If you guys are on the same account, okay, but your name should still be popping up, not hers. Her name should pop up on her phone, not on yours, you know? And then people tell these lies and they think you're going to believe this. After a decade, you still got your ex-wife's name popping up on your caller ID. And you know what the sad part is? There are some women that who will let that slide and be like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Like I said, it's no big deal. You know, maybe people make excuses to make bad decisions. But for me, you got an ex-wife from jump, in the picture. That deal breaker. You know what that's going to be. It was hit or miss. I'm serious. Yeah, it was a disaster. Yep, I feel you. The exception got engaged. It was a disaster, huh? Well, you know what? Live and learn. Did you marry the one you were engaged to? Because if not, you dodged the bullet, you know? There are good men and bad men in every race. So I'm not saying that, oh, you know, and that's why I wanted to show you that example. There are, in every races, there are crazy psychos that will stalk you, that are disrespectful, abusive, everything. So you just have to be careful and have your standards and your requirements and protect yourself and never, ever, ever jeopardize your safety. You have to be choosy, you have to be discerning, and that's it. Yeah, he was really trying it. I mean, but you know, you have to be. I mean, come on. There are some women who will ignore that because think about it. If he's meeting women online, I'm not the first person he's called with that number. There are other women who got that same name on there. Yeah, men with same thing, men with young kids, especially at this stage of the game. No, if they're not grown, forget about it. Forget about it. No. Yeah, the men with young kids are a deal breaker because you know what? If they're divorced, you know they've still got that entanglement with their ex-wives, and it's going to be there for a while because they have children together, and you don't know what the situation is. Even if they are on good terms, it's always going to be it's always going to be it's always going to impact your relationship. There's just no way around it. There's no way around it. And especially if you don't have children. I don't have children. So I don't want to date men with children, at least ones that are not old. I just think if you have children, it's probably best to date someone with children so they understand and they know, you know, the compromises, the challenges, the fact that, you know, if you have a date on Saturday night and, you know, your ex doesn't come pick them up like he's supposed to, you have to cancel a date and be home with your children. I mean, they understand things like that. So, but as a woman without children, I mean, you don't want to be bothered with that. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's like, what's your motivation? It's just as easy to get someone who doesn't have children. They can take you out whenever and enjoy yourself. So, no, I'm feel you, Chief. So I'm the same. Good. Exquisite Coils didn't marry him. That's awesome. Dodged the bullet. Why was it a disaster, if you don't mind me asking? If it's too much, if it's too personal, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I've had, you know, wonderful experiences with white men. I've been treated like a queen. I don't, you know, and you know what, you guys, I wouldn't have it any other way. As you see, you're not coming at me crazy. If I know, no, 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 you don't meet my criteria, you're a liar, you're no, on to the next, because there are ones who will, and that's that. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Like, oh boy, right, he just called me. I gotta call him back. This is an Italian guy. He lives downtown Chicago. I live in the suburbs, and he works for he's a director for like a brokerage firm. Money, 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 money. And his family has money. We had a good discussion a couple of days ago. He was telling me everything. His family has money. And yes, 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 I will not marry someone who does not have money. I don't date people who does not who do not have money. I don't do coffee. I'm not meeting you for coffee. I'm not meeting you for drinks. I'm not meeting you for anything that you do not have to invest some money in me. If you don't want to invest in the dinner and I'm in a nice dinner, forget it. You are not worth my time. You don't get a cheap date with me. You don't do it. And that's, again, those are my requirements. Those are my standards. And if you don't meet them, I'm good with that. But there are plenty who will if they want a quality moment. Believe me, if you have the great pictures and you're personable and you're nice, you would be surprised at what men will be willing to do for you. I've never had any issues, but I'm clear on my boundaries as well. No, no coffee or drink dates. Oh no, that's just a man. First of all, he wants what I call it the coffee house inspection. He just wants to see if you look like your picture, and it's just cheap. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your time. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I will never. And what was it? The first week, the guy said, I think I showed that message where he said, or something about, he wanted me for coffee, but it's obvious that coffee is beneath you. I'm like, yeah, it is beneath me. Good luck with your search. No, you don't get this for a cup of coffee. You don't get this for a drink. No, no. There's plenty of women out there who will do that. I'm not one of them. Period. And the thing is like, you guys, it's like the right kind of man will respect that. Men respect standards. They do. They really, really do. And if they don't, bye. Yeah. Because, I can tell, Flo, that you are a woman who is classy. You've got your what together. I mean, I don't really know you like that, but I can tell that you've got your head on straight. You're not a pygmisha. You have standards. You have requirements. You're just not easily going to fall for the okie doke. These men can't come at you any kind of way. You up on game. So I'm sure they look at your profile and a lot of them say, this was out of my league. And that's just what it is. Yeah, I know what you meant. White man, black. I know what you mean, girl. And that's just what it would. I mean, they know that, yeah, she's out of my league, and I'm sure it's the same with me. And some of they'll still approach you, but it's like it's the white men, because white men, they like a certain type of black woman. Let's keep it real. Especially affluent white men. They like a certain type of black woman. And that's what makes me so mad about that man. He was using this woman for sex, and because she was certainly not the type of black woman he would bring home to mom, and all, but she was good for sex. That is what like annoyed me. But you know, white men have standards that black men don't have. Black men are data. I don't even want to say it. You know what I'm talking about. She doesn't have to be everything they dog us for. They will date in a white woman, and you know what? That's fine. I don't have an issue. Black men have like I said before, take two, go for them. Go for it. Because what does Cynthia G say? You guys watch Cynthia G? What does she say? They get the same black men that we get. You know. So yeah, it's just not my thing. Never happened. They don't know how, they don't still act right. And let's be honest, it's not just white men. You have Asians, you have Hispanic men. So it's not like you have to be limited to just white men. But if you want a certain lifestyle, I mean, and there's just more of them, right? In terms of population, you have a better chance of finding a good white man who will treat you the way you want to be treated, just by virtue of the numbers, right? The percentages are higher. He was a cheater, had young kids under 5, and had more money than he could carry. I want, yeah, yeah. But see, if you want, he's a cheater, had young kids under 5, and more baggage than he could carry. Girl, you might as well be with a black man if you want to go through all that. No, 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 no. No way. No way. You can't be bothered with that. Because you know what? If it was the other way around and you had young kids under 5 and all of that, you know, he would be like, no, I'm not going to marry her. But yeah, I'm just going to have sex with her. Dr. J, the numbers game. It is a numbers game. That's why you have to like lay up in the cut, have fun, and just let them wine and dine you, and that's it. But you have to be discerning. I'm not going to, in a pandemic with this stuff going around. First of all, I'm not a person who would ever meet again for drinks or coffee, but most certainly not in a pandemic. It's not worth my while unless you're taking me to a nice restaurant which your boy who just called me is going to do. He's going to do. That is the only thing that's worth it to me. It's not worth your time. It's just isn't. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. You know, you should be treated with respect always, and you should not accept anything less. Do not ignore red flags. That's how women get into abusive relationships and they get with cheaters and all of that. They see the writing on the wall from jump and they just ignore it or find reasons to justify it. Of course I have a roster, girl. You got to have your roster. You have to have a roster, but it's just building it. Yeah, you have to have your roster. You got to rotate them out, but they have to be, for me, it's just a certain type of man because like I said, these mugs are lazy. They want to meet. I mean, for me, I can't, I'm sure it's the same for all of you. It's like, oh, I like your pictures. Let's meet. Let's meet. No. And then I have to reel them back in and say, no, no. There's so much of that. You know, they don't want to put forth the they just I want to meet you, I want to meet you, I want to meet you. No, boo, we're not doing that. You got to work for this. You got to work for this. There's so many, and it's just like there's a lot. Like I said, they're starting over. Hi, how you doing? You're so pretty. Blah blah blah. But you know what it is with men. Just if you got to, what is it? What is it? You need what is it? Bees or something? You got to have honey to attract bees. It is what it is, y'all. Have those cute pictures. Do not be overly flattered by a lot of attention. I mean, you should be used to that. It's no big deal. The fact that you want to, you know, it's no big deal. The fact that you want to take me to lunch is nothing to me, particularly when you've made absolutely no effort to speak to me. This guy's like, let's go to lunch. It's just lunch. I'm like, I mean, this is literally the first message he sent me. It's like, okay, you've never spoken to me. You've never, nothing. I'm just supposed to go to lunch with you simply because you asked. I'm supposed to want to meet you simply because you want to meet me. And then when you chat them, they're like, oh, okay, well, she's different. I should have, dang, where's that example? I could show you example of that. Dang it, where's that one? But I was like trying to get these, this is kind of time. I wanted to show you guys the example of that. I couldn't find it. Because it's a lot. You guys, I'm not brand, I'm just telling you what my experience it is. It's a lot. You know what? So while we're talking, let me go look and see what's going on anyway. Let me get on here. While we're here, let me go and get on here. Log in right quick, see what's up. Okay, let me see. Yeah, let me share my screen again. All right. All right, so let's see. I know. All right. So now these are just like the guys have matched with all these, and this is the some. Now these are just the ones I haven't even like. This includes the ones that I deleted, not even the ones I deleted. It's you guys, it's a lot, and I deleted, not deleted. I you know, Oh, see, look, no, watch, you guys. And this is what I'm saying. This is not to say whatever she's all that, but you know what? She is. So, and you are too. So, and then, and when I say in terms of volume and the starting over, this is what I mean. So I mean, these are just the ones I have on, okay? Load more. You know, it's like, it's a lot. Load more. You know, and this, you know what I mean? And so, and not to say, I mean, this is just my experience. This may be your experience. It may not, but I'm just telling you from my perspective, it is a lot. And this is another thing I said. I'm 56 years old. If I got it like that, you can too. And then I get a lot of this, you sure are attractive. Okay. I mean, it's the same thing. You know, it's just same old stuff. You reply, you gotta wait a day for them to reply to you, or they're sweating you to death. Okay, so let's look at the likes I have. Oh, and with regards to the likes, you guys, what's going on? Another what's going on? Internet. I mean, what's going on? What's going on, internet? Okay, so with regards to the likes, I changed sort of my strategy on that. I was basically responding to the pool of men who like me, which 90% of the time I still do. I mean, it's good when they approach you, but I was finding that, I mean, that's fine, but I wasn't finding enough of them that I like. What's going on, Match? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go in and I'm going to like a few. Okay, so what's going on with the likes? Okay, here we go. So I'm like, let me reach out to a few. And that's good because a lot of them maybe you're shy to approach you, think you're not going to want them or whatever. And like you like them and they're quick to reply and say, oh, thank you for reaching out, blah, blah, blah. But look at, you know, these are the type of guys, you guys, let's just look at a few of these. 68, this is Lennox. You see, ooh, let's see him. Let's see him. What is going on? What's going on, internet? Let me see something. What's going on? My stuff is super fast. Maybe it's a site. Okay. What is going on? All right, sorry you guys, I don't know what's going on. I'm just doing this right now to see what's going on. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Is the site crashing or what? Okay, Bob, Lafayette, Indiana. And another thing I do, you guys, I always say, I always say, I tell you what I do. Okay, Google, is Lafayette, Indiana a nice place to live? Lafayette is a significant part, one of the best places to live in Indiana. Living in Lafayette offers residents a dense suburban feel, and most residents rent their homes. Lafayette, there are a lot of parks. Okay, so I always ask if it's a good place to live, and Lafayette, Indiana, Lafayette, it's in Tucano County. Lafayette is one of the best places to live in Indiana. One of the best places. So he lives in one of the best places. Check. So that's what that's the first thing I check. I'm like, okay, where does he live, honey? What kind of town does he live in? And he lives in one of the best places in Indiana, so we good. Yeah, so he's kind of cute. Okay, so let's see what he's looking for. Lifestyle. Okay, we've reviewed this before. His background, what they're looking for. no preference. So he's open to dating interracially. There are sometimes you'll find a man who will hit me up, and G Flow, I know you've probably experienced this too. They have, you know, they're white and they're looking for a white Caucasian romance specifically, but then they'll hit you up because, like I said, they are open to a certain type of black woman. I can't speak. So you guys, the saga continues, honey. The saga continues. Ugh, yeah, you guys. So I will keep you posted periodically to see, you know, keep you updated. Um, because I have a few that I'm kind of rotating, but ooh, these lashes are popping, baby. I like these. There you go. I just share screen now. Yeah, my God. Oh, I'm getting a lot of chat forever, not exchanging numbers. They just seem to be more I cut them off every exactly. Exactly. And you're right. And you're right about that. That is one thing I noticed. They just want you, some of them just want to chat. I don't know if they're lonely. It's like, did I not cover that? I think, did I skip a slide? One of the things I think I skipped a slide that some of them like totally refuse to speak to you. It's like they want to chat and then, you know, I think a lot of them see chat as a substitute for conversation. They consider that talking, and it's not talking to me. Do someone like you say what they're dating from? Oh, they don't. I've never done Zeus. Zeus. How is Zeus? Oh, I've done OK Cupid, but I've been slacking on OK Cupid. I'll have to go back on there and just see. Because I'm on OK Cupid too, but I am not. The thing about OK Cupid is I'm not a member. I'm not like obviously I'm paying for Match. I'm not paying for OK Cupid. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. Y'all gotta get up here, get back. I got to call my this is another member of the roster. That's two. That's two since we've been here. Uh-huh. Yep, that's two. Yeah, yeah. So yes, baby. They 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 clocking, but these are the ones that have put forth that effort to call, to want to speak to me, conversations, want to take me out to dinner, all of that. So your roster may be small, but it's not about quantity, it's about quality when it comes to your roster. It's about quality. I mean, what good does it do you to have a bunch of coffee or drink people in your roster? It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, hell, there. You know what? You're bound to try. I mean, you're trying. I mean, look, you're bound to meet someone. I think that it's like you said, a number. It's a numbers game. So for me, I need to put more effort into OkCupid. I really do. because I'm on there, but I'm thinking maybe I should actually pay for that one because people can't see you. They like you can't see it or anything like that. So maybe I'm thinking, well, maybe I see if I can join for just a month. Whereas with Match, I did for 90 days, and I still got like 2 whole months later. But if you join Match, FYI, make for me, I cancel literally the same day. I joined up, whatever, paid my little money, and then I cancel that same day. So after my 90 days are up, boom, my stuff will end. They're not gonna roll over. Don't wait until 3, 6 months into it, whatever, or whatever, then you forget or whatever. I canceled that same day. And then once my 90 days are up, my 3 months, it will automatically cancel. Word to the wise. Yeah, quality is much more important than quantity. You're gonna get a lot of I like your pictures, you're pretty, let's meet, but the quality guys are gonna, it's gonna require a little bit of effort and take a little bit more time, guys. So you guys, I'm gonna let y'all go. Let me get back to my little roster, see what's up with them, see what they're trying to do. And yeah, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this series. You guys, if you haven't seen the other ones, check it out. But yeah, this was fun for me. It was interesting. It was illuminating, especially as a person who has not done, involved in online dating in forever. You guys, I just hope that you found some of the sort of lessons learned by me helpful. Do not lower your standards. Do not ignore red flags. Have fun. Be open to men who have never been married. There's no real reason to write them off. Don't use preconceived notions. Good. You guys, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, y'all. Don't forget to thumbs it up, you guys, okay? So I will be back next week with a topic. And like I said, I'll give you guys periodic updates on how things are going. So yeah, you guys, I thank you for your support always. Thank you so much for riding with me, guys. And yeah, until next week. Mwah. Bye, guys. Ending the stream now. I feel like I have to say that. Okay. Ending the stream, guys. I love you so much. Thank you for everything.